So you know when the universe tells you about a person, right? And they say this person is this way. I don't know if you want to do that. This person is this way. I don't know if you want to do that. And you try to have this shroud of imagery of what you think the situation is going to be with a little effort, or what the universe tells you how it's going to be. You almost try not to hear it. So I literally just went through that, and yet again, something was taken away from me. So this is probably not even gonna be a reading. I'm not even gonna be hold. I'm not gonna. I can't even talk. I'm not even gonna hold you. Um, the message that I had about a week ago, a week and some change, was no, you cannot have what's going to hurt you. So I said, okay, you can't have what's gonna hurt you. And I thought about it again. When you meet that person, you're ecstatic. You know, you're like, okay, this is it. Finally, an opportunity. And the universe is in the background like, okay, you care. Care is the eighth general principle of this universe. Care is the thing that gets things going. You care about your well-being, so therefore you would take care of yourself. You would do the things to help yourself. Care is a very powerful force. So it's like when you decide to care about, you know, your life with that person, when you decide to care about it, that's when like the lessons come. And it's not just about karma. It's something above that. It's like, I'm gonna put it this way. I believe two ways it happens. If you are ignorant and if you are aware. If you are ignorant, it's like you can just move on, or you can just go through with the trial of the other person that isn't ignorant. I don't even know how to explain that. I'm gonna just leave it in there. Fuck it. Well, what I'm trying to say is, once you decide not to be ignorant, you can't live how peaceful ignorant people live anymore. You know. And that's like how fair is that? How fair is that? You mean to tell me because I decided to see the universe, because I decided to live for what the universe stands for, also the good and the evil in this world, because I decided to do the good things, because I decided to know what's going on in this world, because I decided these things, I'm getting attacked. Because I decided these things, I was fit to fight a war that I didn't know all about. Now I kind of know all about. But where's the peace? Is there ever going to be peace, or is it constantly a fight? This is what they don't talk about this spiritual journey. When you go into it, all that protection of that ignorance that you was in goes out the window. They don't talk about that. No, you cannot have what's going to hurt you. And you always get, always, 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 always. I lost something today that I thought was going to be for me. And I got 48 warnings. 48 warnings from the universe saying, I don't know if this is right for you. You see this? Don't forget that. This happened, this happened, this happened. That happened too. Don't. Yeah, I ain't gonna let you forget this. And after all of that, it's done. And I'm just like, I should have listened to the first message. And I can't even be mad at that fact, but I'm mad at the fact that it was a lesson yet again when I decided to care. So I know this is resonating. Why, when you decide to care, is the attack so prevalent? Why? That's like a message I have to the universe. So the other message I had to the universe, because this, honestly, like I said, this is a rant. This is a message too. Do I keep this up, or do I go back to surviving? Now, I was surviving perfectly fine. Perfectly fine before I decided not to be ignorant. I was surviving perfectly fine. Going out, doing this, doing that, in relationship, out relationship, but I was fine with it. You know, it was just a part of life then. It was just a part of life now. Now, when you start to understand stuff, it's like, okay, I'm living basically a Job story of my own. Mixed, and right now, this moment is like a little bit mixed with Moana. If you can understand what I'm saying, I'm gonna talk about the scene. Basically, she and Maui was in the middle of the ocean, and she was talking about this stone that she had so much power. This thing I created, so much power. If the world knew, if the wrong people in this world knew what this is, I would be gone tomorrow. And that's the craziest thing. And I tried to hide behind that fact so much. This is the most powerful thing in this world. This is it. The thing that we are waiting for. And I do not know how to scream it any louder than I have been. And that's the craziest part. It's like the world wasn't ready for it. And I've been getting messages on messages saying that, oh, people like this video. But it was just, it was, so I have multiple platforms, right? But it's the same channel. I have multiple platforms, and I was posting on my Instagram, I was posting on my TikTok and my YouTube. After I decided to give up, I'll tell you why. After I decided to give up, that's when all of the attraction to it started to come in little pieces. It's like, okay, so when I decided not to care, the thing that I want to happen is now happening. But now that you taught me this lesson, I don't have the ambition or the energy to do the same thing. When I started this channel, it was on a rise. And this is the grimiest thing that I don't even know if the world was at fault, me was at fault, just timing. I needed to learn more. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. Shadow ban. I don't know what it was. One of my first videos got shouted out by Maji, and shout outs to her. And that helped me a lot. That gave me like the want to want to finish this, to get to this point, because it wasn't at this point at first. Then I had a video out of my own effort. I explain what that means, because you can advertise your videos or you can let it run to see what kind of attraction it gets, right? So out of my own attraction, no money included, I got, it was like the first video was 200, then it was 400, then it was 800, and I was getting hype. Oh my God, people are seeing me, people are commenting, is this, then that, and then next thing you know, that next video, it was like 20 views. Next video after that, 20 views. Weeks go by, months go by, and I'm posting like, I want to say 30 videos, and then I give up on my own effort, right? My own attraction to it, my own what it was supposed to be, and what I thought God asked me to do with it, right? I gave it up. And when I gave up, I said, you know what? I came right back to it. How can I give this up? This is something that God said is my calling. I'm not going to give it up. Came back to it. I started throwing some money on it. Started to get some attraction to it. And then I understood that either I have the shyest following in following history, and what I'm saying is not powerful enough to get somebody to type anything down, or enough people to keep me motivated or to give me confirmation that I'm doing a good thing. It was always crumbs. Always. So after I decided not to be ignorant, and after everything was basically taken from me, so I lived a life, had a job, had this going for me, met somebody, I have a daughter, and she's beautiful and all that, and the next thing you know, the life that I wanted with that is literally gone, right? And I'm here literally right now waving the flag saying, okay, I give up, because that happened a long time ago, but something else happened recently that I'm like, you know what, I get it. When I care, it's taken away from me. When I don't care, there's a mission for me. So I'm just on mission right now. I don't know where this is gonna lead me to. And I know I'm ranting right now. And the next message was wits in, because I'm at my wits in with it. How can I prove that this is? I can actually prove it, and I'm gonna do it right now. Look on the screen. The tree of life is incomplete. Everything that you know about the tree of life is correct, but it's something so simple. That little point at the top that corrects everything. We always talk about Ein Sof 4, that's at the top of the tree of life, right? And then me, I like geometry and I like shapes and I play with them all day. I went to school for architecture and I ended up in CAD, like drafting and engineering and things like that. I know this visual. So I saw it when I was on this journey. I was like, oh, the tree of life and tarot, amazing. And also, this is a system. So when I seen the system, I created it in a still life version, what you see on this board. Let me just put this down. It's basically to say the carrot that the universe asked me to chase, that was going to give me my foundation, turned out just to be the carrot that I'm chasing. It feels like the carrot I'm chasing what the universe is asking me to do, but I never get to the place where I get to that rest. So I'm done chasing. But was that my ego in the first place? So this is something that I'm talking about openly, that you have to decide for yourself. Is that your ego in the first place? So I said, maybe it's my ego. And I don't know how to care about a lot of things anymore, because the universe has taught me through this whatever lesson that I'm clearly failing, right? Clearly, no debate, clearly. In this lesson, I don't know what to do. So, throwing the white flag, I'm here because this is a message for somebody. The frustration about the betrayal from the universe, that's not actually betrayal, that's lessons for the greater you, that you never really have peace with. You only have evolution, which also only comes with problems, because you cannot, you see, like it just Ouroboros, the snake that eats his own tail. Like, we over here trying to elevate to a point that, can we even, like, a lot of spiritual people don't talk about that part, the doubt, the what was this all for. I'm talking to people. Let's just start getting this first part of the reading. I'm gonna just keep going while I talk. So, who, what, when, where, and why is this first part. Let's talk about who. I want to know who this is about. I initially thought that I was gonna be. I'm an engineer / blacksmith. All the readers that you see, this is for them eventually. And I was trying to figure out a way to show them and give it to them and let them use. In my fantastical world of imagination, it said to me that it would multiply their power by at least 9. So I said, okay, what would that look like? Queen Cup times 9. What would that even look like? Light times 9. What would that even look like? What would that even look like? The Sag Girl Tarot times 9. What would that even look like? It's so many readers that you love. What would that even look like times 9? Because this is what I say that this can empower them to be able to do. As a reader, I sit here at the star. And this is even annoying me, because don't call me a star. If you wanted me to be a star, you would have made me a star when I had the ambition for it. So why give it to me now that I don't care for the stardom of it, only to me not having the joy and the peace of living with it? Just being able to do the job and not let it affect me. Okay, that's great. But now I'm sitting here with what? Another lesson, another trial to overcome. I know this is hitting somebody, because even though I'm talking about myself, you can put your situation and just say, oh shit. And if you're smoking a lot now, a lot more than you used to, but you say you got it under control, this reading is for you. Who? It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Crazy. Take action. And the archetype card that came out is the self card. So do yourself a favor and take some action. This is my action. I mentally give up. Mentally give up. The universe is lucky my spirit is still in it, because my spirit is forcing my body to move right now. My ego is like, fuck this whole shit. This whole shit. Why did you choose me? And not give me what I need to make it real. Show me a way that I was supposed to build it, only to make it a better thing. Great. But now I don't have the ambition to get it to the place that you're asking me to do it. I know this is hitting somebody. The frustration of believing in God. I believe in you 1,000%. I'm here now. So where's the... It's always a new lesson. New levels, new devils. Word, where's the blessing? And be less. That's bless. So that's another thing. I can't even say bless you without knowing that anymore, because I decided to learn and not be ignorant about words. Words are spells. You use your tongue. Your tongue is a wand, because God speak, and it is in existence now because he spoke it. So what do you think your speech does? We have to use etymology to figure out, what are we even saying? Good morning. So many people talk about mourning. You mourn the dead, not when you wake to challenge the day. If you saying I'm dead, and you waving at everybody, I'm dead, like somebody died. We out here doing everything right. Good intentions, wrong magic. We gotta fix it. So do your best and be happy with that. Avoid being brash right now. You need a 12-month plan. A new male is coming to your life. So if I'm just talking about myself, a new male, that doesn't mean an actual man. What it means is a formation. All energy that you are asking to use needs a form that uses it, right? So all potential that you are trying to bring into this world requires a form that it can operate in. Because if you give it the wrong form, that form cannot contain the energy, or that form is too big for that small amount of energy that went in there. So decide which way is happening for you. So the next one is bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. And this is the starborn. It's a egg that's about to hatch. You know, this is all funny to me. Like, oh, now I'm going to get to shine. Hey, here it is. You passed the test. Okay, great. And I'm also scarred and burnt. So what are you going to do about that, universe? Because I don't know, do we call out the universe enough? Or have we trained the universe to teach us? And I don't know if it's the language and the conditioning that forces us to torture ourselves with the power of the universe that we have in the control. Like, we're doing this to ourselves. We're hitting ourselves. Is it that? Or does the universe not understand us when it matters the most to us? Or is that our ego breaking and it needs that time to heal? Why do you require a broken vessel and not a... Why does the universe require a broken vessel? These are questions that you're not alone with. These are questions that philosophers still didn't get the answer to, even though they have the whole setup. They still didn't get there. It's a practice of finding it out. And guess what? God is the beginning and the end, so you would never find out why it started or where we're in. So it's everlasting. We live in chaos. Literally. Chaos formed. This world was the form that chaos submitted to. I don't even know how to explain it after that. This is the form. This world is the form that chaos was controlled. And the only reason I say that is because Sonic and Shadow, chaos control. The next, okay, bring love into the situation. You need to be more detached from the situation. Thinking outside the box will bring the solution. More pragmatism is called for. Improve your karma by doing some charitable work. We all know charity relieves your karma and brings you dharma, or whatever the good one is, right? So do more charitable things. Be nice to people, even though nice, no, be kind to people. Don't be nice, be kind to people. Because kindness, you are kind to yourself too. Like that nice stuff only goes for that person. Kindness, you like it, you know, yourself will be jealous if you're not kind to yourself also. So it's more of like a, you'll do it for yourself because you know what kindness is. Like, I'm kind, but I'll defend myself, or I'm just gonna be nice so it flies over me, so it passes by, so the situation passes by. Bring love into the situation. Love is movement, not what we think it is. What we think love is right now is luminance. I choose this over everything else. I value this over everything else. That's what we think love is. And it was given the tag love. Love is movement. Movement because you care, which is the 8th general principle. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So however you decide how that came into play and how we came here, okay, but there was a lot of care involved in that. So he gave us, I don't even know where to go into that because there's so much knowledge that I have yet to prove to y'all. It's here though. Next, luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius, and this is the sword. Y'all all know that the sword is the mental things, right? So let's see. You need to laugh more. This is a wonderful time to start a course of study or teaching. Don't be narrow-minded. Start a week of gratitude practice. All right. In this time where I was Job, right? Living your Job story. If you're living your Job story right now, put it in a comment and explain why. Trust me, you're not alone. And it won't even be me that just comment on it. We're not alone. We're living a lot of the same stories. But the Job story being everything being taken away from you, the gratitude, I have it. I'm so thankful for the fact that even though I wasn't doing the things to survive, that I was given an opportunity to survive. And that's powerful right there, because there are some times that we test the universe. Okay, do you really love me? Are you actually there? I'm not gonna do nothing. This is just ridiculous. These are phrases that you go when you're going through that thing, or when you get right out of it. Today, I couldn't even cry. Couldn't even do it. I was sitting there and I'm like, what to do with this energy? Because can't cry it out. I don't even want to be on social media to let it go by. What am I going to do with this energy? So I just brought it here. After everything I went through. But luck is on your side. You need to laugh more, right? If you were laughing during this, that's good, because there's a person on Instagram that I follow. I don't know her name at all, but she has short hair, dark-skinned woman, and she talks about the universe and me. So when she speaks through the persona of me, and it always has me on it, right? And then when the universe is talking, it has the universe tag on it. So she talks as herself and then as the universe. When I started following her, I was laughing at first, but all her videos be having me like this, thinking mad hard and upset at the universe, and somebody finally understands. But we're all going through the same thing. And shout outs to her being a pioneer, one of the pioneers, one of the greatest pioneers in actually doing that. Amazing. Getting the actual argument out. Getting the actual argument out. Perfectly done. The next one, well, that was when luck is on your side when you use the sword, when you use your mind, when you use the things that you can handle. So the next one was where. This is always spiritual because all the energy comes from that spiritual place. Without the spirit, you won't have the battery. Without the soul, you won't have the battery for the consciousness. Without the spirit, you won't have the battery for the mind. So understand what needs what in order to even operate. So hold your vision, fixed moon, and this is the Anima Mundi. So look that up. Anima Mundi. Staying power or patience or faith is needed. Someone needs to back down. Avoid stagnation. A personal or professional relationship will be enduring. Now, that enduring word pissed me off. Stop telling me in any manner to keep going, because when there's no goal, when there's no finish line shown to me, it seems like you just got me chasing this carrot. Once I sit down and say I'm tired, in the back of my mind, the universe is like, what are you doing? I gave you the ability to keep going. So you get back up on your feet and start going, and the universe saying, wait until he or she cares again. I got a new lesson for them. And whatever you decide to care about is a lesson in that given to you. And it's like, are they, what am I doing? What am I really doing here? Are you helping me? Or am I just here to relieve the world's karma? I don't know. Because when you're a light being, they always tell you light attracts what's in the dark. You know, you have a lighthouse on the shoreline, and if I'm a ship, I'm gonna go to that lighthouse. Okay, I remember where this lighthouse is, and it's also pointing out where I can go. That's what the demons see too. They in the dark. Oh, what is this light creature? Let me destroy it. Let me take this heat, this energy, this consciousness. I'm gonna take everything from it because I've been in the dark, says the demons. And demons work through people. So they could work through your best friends or your worst enemies. It don't matter. It just give them that 1 second out of that year, that 10 seconds out of that year that your best friend from everywhere, right, will say something to you, and it'd be like, absolutely unnecessary, and you were completely conscious of it. It doesn't matter. Time and opportunity, they do not waste it. The next energy is why, and this is time to release negativity. This also makes me laugh. This is full moon in Scorpio, and the two archetypes that came up was the mountain and the nectar. You understand what nectar is, but nectar is not in its complete form if you're a bee. A nectar, well, it depends. The nectar of a flower is not complete until they go through that process in the hive. But nectar in the hive is something different. But English is dumb. So, yeah. For the experts, feel free to correct me. I am not an expert. It's time to release negativity. It's time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. You have the right. You're right to have your suspicions. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. The end of an argument. What's the argument? The argument I have with the universe is I can't have what I have until I'm fit enough to hold it, right? Cool, I understand that. But everything in between that time, it seems, is not mine to hold, only mine to experience. And any time that I hold on to it, it's going to be ripped away from me, or I can choose to let it go in power. And the universe says good. But regardless, in the back of my mind, I'm like, great. I grew up in the Disney fantasy also. I grew up with it. I am Prince Charming. I am Prince Charming. Let's Captain Save-A-Hole. Yes, that's me. We like, come on, let's be serious. Everybody wants to be that person, and I've been that knight in shining armor. Everybody's been that once in like I can't even get through this. So the next part of the reading is Soph, and this is about the perspectives in your mind. Now imagine that there are people in your mind, about 10 people in your mind that are sitting there discussing things and wanting something, right? They have a perspective that they hold dear. So the perspectives are I be, I want, I need, I know, I will, I desire, I love, I think and I do, I feel, and I am, right? So every one of these that I just pointed out is a person in your mind at this round table trying to get power, right? That's the best way to understand it. But unity is where it's at. So let's talk about where it's not united, where it is united. The first place is I be. Your being, who you're going to be at the beginning and the end of every day. This is the Queen of Cups. Compassion, calm, and comfort. That's going to be your being at the beginning and the end of every day. The compassion. Okay, you're compassionate about somebody or about yourself? Which one has it been? Calm for who? For somebody else's well-being and benefit, or yourself? Oh yeah, it's time to comfort for who? For who? But that's your being, and this is why they take advantage of you, because you are that. You are that one that gets that done, and they know that. That's why. Next, I want. What do you want? Me? It says I want strength. So let's see. Bravery, compassion, focus, and inner strength. Now, inner is with the strength that I have with my spirit. You know, my belief in my spirit that, you know, I can, I don't know, I can get through the situation. I have enough spiritual energy to do that. I have enough spiritual fortitude to get through the attacks and all these other things. That's what my mind wants. That's what I want. Now, it's not wrong. So far, these two energies are not wrong, and what that means is down the chakras. So this is the crown, this is part of the third eye, throat chakra, heart, solar plexus, sacral chakra, and root chakra, right? We're going down the line. That means you have unison or unity with these two places so far. When it comes to the strength that you want and you're going after, that's perfect, right? But as I said before, the strength to be brave for somebody else or the strength to be brave for yourself, which one holds more precedence? You have to decide this. So that was what I want. I need. It started off with the Emperor and then ended off with the Knight of Swords. So let's get the Emperor real quick. That's authority, structure, control, and fatherhood. Right. So, as I said before, any male that's mentioned is about a form that you have or you can attain that handles energy. That's the baseline. The energy you have to tag it. Let's just say you went in an argument. There's a way to handle that energy in that argument or before it even gets to that point. So the Emperor talks about the authority behind it. Like, you have a right to not let it affect you. You have a right to not react. You have a right to do the other things before you react. So if somebody's withdrawing that right from you, I don't even have the right words, then I don't know if that's the person for you. But this is not the first time you heard it. You've been getting 48 messages about it. Just do it. Do the thing before the universe does the thing for you. And that's my warning. Do the thing before the universe does the thing for you. You cannot dodge it. You've got the warnings. And then ended off with the Knight of Swords. Action, impulsiveness, and defending beliefs. Now, This is the belief of what you need, right? So you believe you know what you need, and you're willing to fight for it. And beliefs is what we need after the words that we claim. So after the affirmations that we know, we gotta keep repeating and repeating and repeating until we believe it. Once the belief is set in, that's when the energy of what we're actually aspiring actually happens. That's when it comes through. When you believe it, it's actually true right now, and that's why it's going to be true soon. The universe has to match what you believe. So that's one of the keys. The next is I know, and this is the star, the one that kind of pissed me off. Hope, faith, and rejuvenation. This is what I know. Now, what's being rejuvenated? There's a shape that's right here. It's a box, and then there's a triangle right here. So when you add those together, it's a home with a roof. So the top of the roof talks about the experience and what your knowledge entails. The more you know, the more knowledge you can use to protect your home, right? And this is where the star card came in. Hope, faith, and rejuvenation. That's what protects your home. You know you can at least rejuvenate. You know that everything has its season and things go up and down. And even though you might be in your own imagination in the down part, the darkness, you already know that things rejuvenate, things come back, just like the spring. Things rise, things fall. You're okay with the cycle. So that's where your knowledge is like, okay, things will pass. I'm okay now. Sometimes you have to really think about what happens after that. Not the dangerous things happen to you. Let's just say after that person would leave you, or after you left that person. Did you die? Really ask it out loud. Did I die? No. Do I still have my money? You know, some situations you don't know. Do I have my sanity? I'm talking about it right now. Do I have this, that? Action, go down the list for what you thought you were going to lose and why it was so hard to do that thing. And now that it's done, how do you feel about that same list? Oh, I'm actually okay. And that's what the devil doesn't want you to feel. Okay, knowing that it's a cycle. The devil wants you to know it's real and stay down there, stay in the darkness, so you can be that light that gets siphoned off of as a battery for the dark realm. I'm gonna just say the dark realm, right? The next energy is I will. It started off with the hangman, that's water, ended off with the chariot, that's also water. So your will needs to be earth or fire. You can't get anything started leaving everything up to the universe. You can't get anything started. Let's see. The hangman, 2 major arcana came up in this place. And I always say that major arcana is something outside of this. It's outside of your hands that's happening for you, to you, for your benefit. You know, it's always for our benefit. I even recognize that. It's for my benefit. I was warned. It's for my benefit. I was warned already. I have all of everything that I need to know of the strength that I needed to carry after that decision. I already know. You know they say guard your heart, but you feel heartless in this process. The hangman is sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. Oh man. The death of the ego is the martyr. Because the rebirth moment, the phoenix moment, the new you that comes out of that ego is dead. It's the ashes that you came out of. So it's like, that's what you fight for. Why would you want to die like that again? How about you elevate in a different way? How about you not go through the same trial, you know? I know I chopped that up a little bit, but you understand. Then it went from there to the Chariot card, and that's direction, control, and willpower. Now, this is emotional direction, control, and willpower. Emotional reactions, emotional decisions, emotional control is dangerous, because if you love somebody and they are using their emotions and they know you love them, they have basically your kryptonite, and that's your heart. That's kryptonite. You basically do whatever it is that they're asking you to do, so they put that kryptonite away, put it back in that tin box, that lead box, so it don't hurt me no more. You have the power. You know me now. You know exactly what will hurt me. Put it away, right? Emotional control is dangerous. So there's logic, which is also another dangerous place, because logic is not attached to the spirit at all. So even though too spiritual means very emotional, too logical means very unemotional. I'm gonna just put it that way. So that's why you have to balance that out in the first place. Both pieces are you. You are your spirit and you are your mind, battling for who's going to take that power, who's going to be in charge, the spirit or the mind. But the balance of the thing allows the true you, the superconscious, to be in control. So that's why it's important to balance that. The next energy is I desire, and it started off with the Three of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So that's looking ahead, expansion, and rapid growth. Now, both of these are off. It should be water or air. And that means that your ego, or at least your ambition, because sometimes the ego hide behind what you think is like you're right. Like, okay, I told God I'm going after this thing, and okay, I understand there are trials, but sometimes trials are mistaken for absolute blockages from the universe. So this is why you have to kind of walk hands free. And I always talk about the conscious hands. We call them heartstrings, right? Cool little tidbit for you, but I got a lot more. That was the Three of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles, opportunity, prosperity, and new venture. Opportunity for who? That's probably the question. Opportunity for who? To do what? Who's actually in charge? Your superconscious is in charge. Your shadow, which is mistaken by the spirit, because the spirit and the shadow is two different things, right? Your shadow is opposite your ego. Your shadow is your id. It's a part of you. It's not evil. So it's almost like you got stopped by the universe and you are only offered one opportunity. And that was the opportunity that the universe forced you into, but it was also one that you're okay with, which makes you more frustrated because you get it. And I want to talk about one of the reasons why we keep coming back down here to experience this bullshit. Even if I died today, I would choose to come back as soon as possible. Why? Because I keep understanding something about eternity in heaven. The heaven that's outside of this life. You know what I'm really trying to say, like the heaven that's above, right? That eternity, it's in perfection. What can you do with perfection? Nothing. You can't fix it. You can only break it, right? How can you live being in that realm? You basically with God now. And as the God, the super being, the super conscious being that you are, in that body, you're like, okay, how can I live? You can't. Because you know everything, because you're God in that realm. So what do? I don't know if I would even last 100 years without wanting to come back. They always say that, oh, the moon is trapping us. No, I'm coming back because it's better than not. It's better than eternal peace and bliss and nothingness, because there's nothing to do. And I know that's twisted, but I know I'm right. I know I'm right. Why would God decide to split himself into a billion pieces? First of all, God was alone, split into something that was a partner. Oh, that's perfect. This partner was the opposite of God. So you can understand how that fight started. But that's the story of a fight. There's also a math story. A story of, there's so many stories on top of each story, and most of the stories, I believe, are allegories to talk about how the universe is in constant function. All of these stories are talk about pieces of the body doing things. All of the stories are talking about the moon is how connected to the energy in your body. All of these stories are talking about how everything is connected, and we just need to see it. We're not seeing it. I don't know what I was important. The next energy is another hangman. It went from here, guided by the hermit card. So if you're in your hermit energy, if the hermit came out in a recent reading, if the hermit was following you, this is for you. Started off with the King of Wands, which is off. This is fire in the place of air. Even though fire supports air, your ambition is only going to go so far when you need to actually think about your next steps. And then the hangman came up again because your will is intertwined. You have to go within what your true desire is. Your true desire is in the middle of your mind and your spirit. So your logic and your spiritual intelligence, in the middle of that, if they would have unity, that's your true desire. That's like what they both agree on. That's where it's no fight. That's where it's undebatable. That's where it's the sturdiness, that's what you hold on to. Confirmation. So let me just get the King of Wands. Big picture leader in overcoming challenges. Well, of course you're not going to see the big picture. So I'm not going to come at you for not seeing the big picture. You're not the God above seeing everything happening. You're the one who creates the story and living it at the same time. And you can't live writing the pen. Sometimes you got to put that pen down and just experience, right? So being on guard for that. I don't know why it's being on guard for all of the variables right now. Is not worth it. I don't know why I said that. Being on guard with all the variables are not worth it. It's better to actually let the universe handle it, because not only do you keep your energy, you get to see the universe work, even though it takes some time. So that's that message, and that was in what you love, what you move towards because of what you care for. The next energy is I think and I do. Now the solar plexus is mixed up to be fire. This is the place of consciousness, but think of it as piezoelectric energy. It's pressure that creates heat. Heat is created from physical elements, or air pressure also creates heat. So that's where the energy comes from of the solar plexus. The heat and the pressure to do and the pressure not to do, the pressure to think and the pressure not to think. This is the Four of Cups. Let's get it. Apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness. This is what you think and what you do. If you do nothing, if you feel nothing, that's the cure. It's not the cure. So here God goes calling me out, saying doing nothing was not the cure. Great. Because I'm able to see it, I'm able to tell you don't waste your time not doing nothing. Find out something to do, because it's better than wasting time. When you're doing nothing, just imagine it as an energy of time is being released from your body and somebody is eating that. right? When you take control of your time, that energy is not being released, and you're gathering it as a different energy. And I know that that's ether. I can talk about it all day, but time and ether opposites is the energy. And then we're from there to the Hierophant. Tradition, conformity, morality, and ethics. Tradition. We have our traditions, we have our ways that we fix things, we have our ways that we handle new opportunities and also temptation. We have our traditions with it. You can understand how that would be, because a tradition with temptation would be, okay, I understand that this is something that's not that good for me. Maybe I might try it one time and see it, but I'm gonna have the determination to say no, this is not good for me. But there's also, it would never escape the I forgot the word, but you understand what I mean. So that's what that was talking about with you, what you're thinking and what you're doing, and these are the starts of your habits and patterns. So the next energy actually fixed itself. It started off with the Page of Wands, which is fire, in the place of water. So that means the emotions. What fire does to water is expand the water content. So it makes it more than what it is, more than what it actually is. It goes too far, jumps to every conclusion. If this is resonating, it's not just you. We're all confused. We don't know everything, and this is why we come at people for not knowing everything. Yeah. It went from there. Let's get the Page of Wands real quick. So, exploration, excitement, and freedom. Now, this Page of Wands is the freedom of expression, not the control of it. So it's like, I have the right to bear arms, but you shooting everybody out here. Yes, you do have the right to bear arms, though. So take that how it resonates. You have the right, but you're trigger happy, and that's not cool. Who's trigger happy on you? Because that doesn't seem like it's something that's coming from you. That seems like it's an observation, because she's sitting here looking at this figure right here. I've always thought this figure, let me see if you see it. I always thought this figure to be not the Holy Grail, but that thing that was rumored to be in the pyramid. Oh God, what is it called? The Ark of the Covenant. I always thought that would be the Ark of the Covenant for some reason, and I never knew why. I cannot drop it. That's what it is to me. It's the Ark of the Covenant, and she's looking dead at it. Focus on this and sit down. It's handled by the powers that you don't even understand. Queen of Cups. And I literally just realized that I had the Queen of Cups right here. Didn't even see it. I could be blind too. If somebody was like, it's right there, 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 it's right there. That's how the universe is talking to you. It's right there. It's you don't see that? It's right there. That's exactly how the universe is talking to you. Getting upset and all of it. So that only goes to the few people who saw that connection first, and I didn't. So that's for y'all. So the next and last energy is I am. This is the place where fear takes the most hold, right? It started off with the death energy. Death is water, and temperance is fire. These both are not earth. Nothing to actually build off of. This death energy is the skeleton warrior. I always talk about it. The skeleton has nowhere to be cut. It can only be broken, which is good, You can work off your foundation. But if the foundation, you ain't got no materials to build your fort, you ain't got no materials to build after the foundation, what are you? You were just founded with nothing to use. So rooted is not everything. That's just the first step. Then let's get the death card. The end of a cycle, change, and metamorphosis. Now, Metamorphosis. You're able to do certain things when things are not triggering you, because you're able to use that energy for what you need it to, right? That's all I had to say about that. That's it. That was the message for that one. Next was temperance. And these are both major arcanas, things that are happening outside of your power, above you, for you, regardless of how you feel about it. Temperance. Middle path, patience, and finding meaning. Every time I see middle path, I think of a monorail, and I think of also magnetics at the same time. I never know why I think of it, but it's always about the magnetics. Imagine that the challenge was to ride a roller coaster only with one rail, and the way you as the person had to balance the machinery on its path. And the only way to properly do that without offing yourself was to be magnetic to that rail. And the only way the magnetic energy is your spiritual fortitude. I hope I didn't chop that up. But yeah, that's every time I see temperance, I see it. So that spiritual fortitude is required before the thing that you're supposed to build on is given to you. You cannot have what's going to hurt you, no matter how you love it. So let's get to this next part of the reading. Or basically it talks about what you can do mechanically. Mechanical is the physical things that you can use with your free will, how you can do these things. And it's experimentation on earth, expression on water, fire on integration, right? And air, with air right here, is transcendence. And then you have ascendance with ether. Air is transcendence, ether is ascendance, right? So let me just put this down in order real quick before I forget again. Alright. I already have a newfound respect for dragonflies, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But what you can experiment with is the sense of earth. Now, let's get this really quickly. A deer in the headlights, but for the truth. And you just gonna let it run its course. I accept the fate after I see the light of truth. And this has to do with what grounds you. Earth. The tangible world and all that is physical in nature, what you can see, feel, and touch, invites you to participate in enjoying it. Inviting earth energy into your current situation will bring more stability at this time. Now, rooting in truth. Truth burns. Truth hurts. Truth is a lake of fire, and that's me. I made that. Truth is a lake of fire. Feel free to let that go as far as it did with me for you right now. Truth is a lake of fire. The next energy is expression. How can you express? So these are expressing feelings. There are feelings, and then there are emotions. Emotions are in potential. Emotions haven't happened yet. You can have emotions on the inside, and there's an expression on your face on the outside, and people saying, oh, you being emotional. You are. See, I couldn't even talk just now. That's how I know I'm right. Let's get this talisman really quickly. The talisman represents new doors opening for you now. New pathways are present at this time. It also invites you to find or create and charge an appropriate symbol or amulet or mantra. Now, there are things that you hold dear that you might need to release. Things that you know that fixes things. Now, also, that's a false belief in some cases. So you have to decide where these false beliefs lie. But this is about a talisman. A talisman could be socks, your lucky blanket, your lucky hat, the bracelet that you got from an ex years ago that don't even matter about the relationship, but it's always something that was lucky to you. It don't matter what that item is. It's a talisman. And these talisman tweak your beliefs, which then changes your energy and enforcing the beliefs to come true, because the universe has to match what you believe. So understand the importance of a talisman. So whatever that talisman is making you believe, it's pushing you in that direction. And just because it's out of sight, out of mind, it's in your sight, it's in your mind. Sometimes it's good to get rid of it. The next energy is integration. Integration of habits and patterns about what you're doing and what you're thinking, right? It started off with the shadow. Let's get it. What is hiding in the dark? What is it that you're afraid of or don't want to see? This card comes to tell you that all cannot be in the light because there must be a balance, right? Without the light would not know its own reflection. Without the dark, the light would not know how powerful it is. So both requires both to even know its own self. So it's interchangeable, and you can understand it by just understanding color theory with the hue. Like light and dark is on that one scale. They don't even matter what you do with any of the colors. Once you change the light and the dark, it does its own thing, right? And I was just talking about shadow, and shadow is here, right? The shadow is to be appreciated, not feared. And it's also better to appreciate the shadow because it's your best teacher. It understood what happened in a realm of energy that you can't even comprehend, and it's telling you what it saw. So sometimes it's good to listen to it. Not all the time. Why? Because the shadow is in the emotional plane, emotional realm, right? When you're too emotional, your shadow will say different things, and sometimes you have to be logical in that sense. And that's when your ego plays the role. So the ego is not an evil thing either. It's something to be controlled. And I'ma just say the Black Panther, but y'all all know about that. But it's in reverse right now. Take pride in your shadow. It's the pride. Wakanda forever. It's the pride. Have pride in what you know that fucks shit up sometimes. Have pride in that part of you that gets it done when you're afraid to. Have pride in that part of you that always protects you when you're unconscious. You drunk. You think that's just you there? Your shadow is having a ball. That's who's there. It's your shadow. So this is why some people don't like to drink. Or some people can't hold their liquor or turn into a different person. Their shadow finally has a chance to come out. And it's going to play. It's going to be there. It's going to have its presence. And you can tell the difference when which one is in control. You can see it if you're not ignorant to it. The next energy is transcendence, right? And it's meditate. When what happened to me today, I went into instant meditation because I wasn't angry and I didn't know what to do with the energy. So if you ever found yourself being stuck, but stuck like there's nothing to say to the universe. There's nothing to say to yourself. It's more like emptiness and blankness. And it's almost like all you need to do is close your eyes to be in meditation. But it's the most pissed off meditation you can actually ever experience. And that's just me talking, right? People will have to confirm that. Like, oh, I've been through that too. That meditation different. That's the clearest meditation you'll probably have. And for me, it was very enlightening. And I was under heavy energy. So if it worked for me even a tiny bit, I'll tell you because maybe you're better at it than me. I'm only here to give the message. And that's the whale energy. Whales are dominant and not, well, this type of whale is very dominant. Really can't, like, I don't even know what type of whale this is. For the experts, y'all can tell me, right? Y'all can tell me what kind of whale this is. I don't know. But it's not an aggressive species. And it eats krill. Like one of the bottom, and I don't even know what to call it. Krill. If you know what that is, okay. Yeah. But the last and final card of the reading is gratitude. And this is how you ascend. This is how you evolve. This is how you actually become the new thing. This is how you go from Pikachu to Raichu. That's how you do it. Gratitude. I'm grateful for the universe telling me 48 times that this was about to happen, and then it happened. I was able to prepare in my own ego way, whatever false way that all the struggling and the fighting that I did for it not to happen, and then it happened, and I still wasn't mad, but I still had my energy about it. I had my emotions, the potential of crashing out. I had the potential of it. And then that potential sent me into straight meditation. But I have gratitude for knowing that it was going to happen in the first place. I don't have the gratitude for it being yet another lesson. But I also have the gratitude for God thinking of me and saying, there's something that I need you to do in this world. And I needed you to go through that because there's now another key, right, in expression that you have in order to get past barriers that other people can't. And this is, I don't know the word, but the lion energy came up. We all know what the lion is. We all think it's the king of the jungle, is the king of the savannah, right? The tiger is the king of the jungle, I think. You know, there's going to be a lot of corrections. And if I'm triggering your animal knowledge, this is definitely for you. Oh, yeah. So just speak. I got you. I can say that I got you. And I believe that the shy people in my community, they got you too. Because I remember this one time I had my hair out and somebody had commented, like, I don't know why you have all of this hair out. Just cut it. I don't understand. Right? And then I was about to crash out. And before I got a chance to crash out, somebody crashed out for me. And I think I just put a smiley. She was like, what are you talking about? Like, all the defensive sayings, right? And then she did that, and I was just sitting in the back like, right? She told you, and I was about to crash out. She took it for me. She took it from me in a very respectable manner. Thank God for her. Because, you know, you get one time to make an impression, and this world wants you to crash out. They want to see the worst of you to say that that's all that you are capable of. I don't know what it is about being a light being, and people always want to try to find your flaw to say that you're not a light being and you're just like me. You're just like them. When you train and you try so hard to be better for yourself, only to be brought down by somebody who can see your flaws and are not spiritually responsible enough to know what that means and how to operate with it. Yeah. That's all I have to say. If you enjoyed this reading, I'm sorry that I brought you to that corner and that corner and that corner and that corner. I know we was all over the place, but the mind can keep up. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening to my rants. As I said before, this is for the readers. I am going to know my place. I am in full surrender. I'm the pioneer for a space that nobody knows about yet. And I can't wait till y'all see it. So, with all that said and done, again, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you already. This was a powerful message for me because it's giving me some perspective. I do not know whether I want to just survive or I want to still live for my dream. But I do know that I think it's impossible for me to give up on my dreams. So I'm stuck. So help me get to the place that I'm trying to get to. I appreciate you. And I'm Kai-Fi. Peace.